I have to speak to you again, Member Fitz. Member, stop. You don't, member, you don't have the mic. No.
Allow me, therefore, Mr. Speaker, because most of us, many of us, were absolutely stunned and collectively embarrassed when Jamaica ducked the vote before the UN Assembly for a humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza on the 28th of October, 2023.
Mr. Speaker.
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, with the greatest of respect, Mr. Speaker, the point of order, Mr. Speaker, I rise in the interest of all Jamaicans. A Jamaica that wins is a Jamaica that wins for everybody, whether you are government or you are opposition. Mr. Speaker, the presenter is misleading. The presenter is misleading. It's one Jamaica, you know. Mr. Speaker, the presenter is misleading.
Members, one of the members is on the floor on a point of order. Will we allow him to say his piece? Continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The presenter is misleading the House. The presenter has no basis whatsoever, no accurate basis, no factual basis to say that Jamaica ducked a vote. Mr. Speaker, what happened on the day in question was clearly explained to the nation, Mr. Speaker. In fact, no, Mr. Speaker, I have not finished making my point, Mr. Speaker.
Based on what has just been said.
I have not finished making my point, Mr. Speaker.
I believe this is an abuse of the privilege
it is not.
of the Parliament. I really do.
Mr. Speaker, we must not try.
None of you have the floor. I am going to speak, and if you can't, I will say this again. If I turn your mic off, it means that I'm asking you to stop talking so that I can say my piece. If you all will keep quiet, then I will get to. Members, if I have to use a standing order to name you, I will name you. I'm asking you all to behave in a manner that is civil. Member Terrelonge, please get to your point of order so that Member Burke can continue her presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Not only is the Speaker misleading the House as to what factually happened at the United Nations, the member must also note that for the last 76 years, Mr. Speaker, that this administration is the government.
Stop. Member, there's another move for. There's another Point of order. If you allow your colleague to make his point of order, then you'll hear something.
Mr. Speaker, this is an abuse of the privilege that has been granted to the member. We are in the sectoral debate. It is unfair for the member to have to wallow through this deliberate attempt at preventing her from making her presentation. I urge you, Mr. Speaker, to rule the point of order out of order and to allow the member to continue her presentation.
Member Burke.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, still today, in boardrooms and hallways of the world, the questions are being asked. How complicated could it have been for Jamaica to vote for a humanitarian truce? How many civilians did the government of Jamaica need to see before taking a decision?
No, not going to do it today. Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, again, the member is misleading the House on a matter of global importance. Mr. Speaker, the government of Jamaica...
Member,
yes.
Please, if you're moving a point of order, you have to make sure that your point of order is directed at the point that you're making.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
What I'm getting from you is a presentation which we don't want at this time. Please.
Mr. Speaker, the member has indicated...
Make your point of order.
The point of order, Mr. Speaker, is that in referencing the matter, the Speaker has indicated that in boardrooms across the world, people are asking and people are wondering. To the contrary, Mr. Speaker, that is fallacious. It is misleading. Mr. Speaker, today, Mr. Speaker, to the contrary, boardrooms across the world, Mr. Speaker.
Stop. You don't have the mic. No, you don't. Please, you are given time to make a point of order, but you're making a presentation. No. Member Burke.
Mr. Speaker, at the end of the day, 12 CARICOM countries, 12 CARICOM countries voted in favor of the resolution, demonstrating their principled positions on a principled matter that resulted in the resolution being adopted by a vote of 120 to 14. Mr. Speaker, it is true that in more recent times, there has been a move by the government of Jamaica to do some damage control by voting with CARICOM, with the rest of CARICOM, to recognize the state of Palestine. I acknowledge that, and I welcome that. But make no mistake, Mr. Speaker, as we travel across the country and the diaspora, and I'm speaking from personal experience, I'm speaking from individuals who have called and who have questioned and who have sent me the questions. Many Jamaicans are still sharing their disappointment and their embarrassment and are asking questions whether or not, for example, Jamaica supported South Africa in bringing the Israeli government before the ICJ for an emergency determination of genocide being committed against the Palestinian people, and for the declaration of emergency measures in support of Palestine. They're asking if Jamaica supported the recent decisions of the ICC for the arrest warrants for 3 leaders of Hamas, as well as Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. I'll tell you in a minute. For the record, Mr. Speaker, the PNP's position is pellucidly clear. We have long opposed and condemned the apartheid system, the displacement, cruel and inhuman. We have condemned and opposed the apartheid system, the displacement, cruel and inhumane treatment meted out to the Palestinian people over decades in their homeland. Yes. We regret and condemn all violence without exception taking place in the region and the wanton killing of civilians, regardless of race, religion, or nationality. We support and have always supported the two-state solution with an independent Palestine, free from Israeli control and authority. We join the call for Israel to refrain from all acts that threaten humanitarian aid getting to the civilian population in Palestine. With some 35,000 Palestinians over...
Member Fitz. I will say this. I recognize only the person who has the mic to speak. Everyone else is making noise. And if I have to speak to you again, Member Fitz. You're shouting. Member Burke.
With some 35,000 Palestinians killed, over 70% of whom are women and children, we condemn the collective punishment and the genocidal campaign being waged against the Palestinian people. And therefore, the Republic of South Africa had our full support in the case against Israel before the ICJ. Mr. Speaker, let me turn now to the Jamaican diaspora. It is no secret that we rely very heavily on Jamaicans in the diaspora for remittances, which support our balance of payments and provide this vital social safety net for family and friends in the absence of a more adequate support from the state. But the Jamaican diaspora represents much more than that, and they'll tell you that they do not want to be treated as an ATM machine. They are significant contributors to our national development and quality of life for many in Jamaica. Therefore, to their families, to their friends, charitable acts that they do for communities in which they grew and villages that they have. Therefore, their inclusion must be seamless and not fraught with bureaucratic red tape and political bungling.